Republicans love to scream about migrant crime, but they seem to have forgotten who's actually been racking up a bunch of felony convictions. Leave it to Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett to remind them.
Let me ask each of the mayors, just yes or no. Have any of you been made aware of any immigrant that has had 34 felony convictions that has still been able to roam around in your cities? Anyone?
No, ma'am.
34 felony convictions.
No, Congresswoman.
From the immigrants. Anybody?
I'm not aware.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm just curious because we are so concerned about crime, and I know that my Republican colleagues would never want anybody with 34 felony convictions roaming around because that could be a danger to the community, but I will move on.
You know who's got 34 felony convictions? That's right, Donald Trump. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. The party of law and order is being led by a convicted felon. And then they keep telling us about this migrant crime, which actually is a shiny object to distract you from the real issues that we need to deal with. And don't take my word for it. Listen to an expert.
The president is also explicitly asserting the authority to ignore any law passed by you, Congress, that provides due process for people accused of being in the country illegally. The administration has repeatedly misled you and the public about who it is targeting, stating it would focus on public safety threats, that only the worst of the worst would be sent to Guantanamo Bay, and that every person it had arrested had a criminal record. We now know that most ICE arrests since the inauguration have been of people without a criminal record. Indeed, he is arresting people who entered legally, never violated any law, and sending them to Guantanamo Bay prison.
That was Matt Beer of the Cato Institute telling us that most of the arrests that ICE has made since the inauguration have been of people that don't have a criminal record. So, surprise, surprise, surprise. And we keep hearing more truths. Watch Representative Melanie Stansbury.
What they are doing is not making America safer. In fact, it's a total and complete lie because Donald Trump has failed to actually even secure the border. He's failed to stop illicit drugs like fentanyl from crossing the border. He's failed to secure sufficient staffing and technology to stop human trafficking and illicit drugs from crossing the border. He's failed to support local law enforcement and behavioral health programs to address the issues that are affecting our communities, and he's failed to even execute on the most basic thing that he said he would do, which was to pass immigration reform when he got into office. Here we are, Donald Trump. Where's your immigration bill? Oh, wait, you don't have one.
You mean to tell me Donald Trump made some promises that he's not keeping? Huh, how unique. Seems like he does it all the time. And you know, someone who's really pointing this stuff out and showing how migrants and immigrants are being demonized is the mayor of Boston. Watch this.
Respectfully, Congressman, you could pass bipartisan legislation, and that would be comprehensive immigration law. The false narrative is that immigrants in general are criminals, or immigrants in general cause all sorts of danger and harm. That is actually what is undermining safety in our communities. If you wanted to make us safe, pass gun reforms. Stop cutting Medicaid. Stop cutting cancer research. Stop cutting funds for veterans. That is what will make our city safe.
There is Boston Mayor Michelle Wu laying it out like it is. If you really want a safer America, let's do some gun reforms. Let's take care of our elderly. Let's take care of our veterans. Let's take care of our sick, the cancer patients. She says, take care of those people. That will make Boston a safer place. Not deporting immigrants. That's not going to make America safer. First of all, we need immigrants to work. We need immigrants for our economy. And what happens is when we get rid of immigrants, we're getting rid of people that would be doing the jobs like the picking of the fruits or the other types of labor that, like, you know, the construction and all that other stuff. We're getting rid of these people that were helping the American economy. Some of these people were here and paying taxes. But what we're seeing is it's really easy to demonize someone because they can't defend themselves. You go after immigrants because they can't defend themselves. Migrants, they don't have rights. They can't defend themselves. That's the reason to your problems, because of the migrants. Migrants committing acts of crimes. I'm not saying that immigrants have not committed acts of crimes. They have. But statistically speaking, it's right there for you. You can Google it. You can research it. American citizens commit more crimes than immigrants do. And also, we see when there's a mass shooter, most of the time, it's a American citizen. The guy who tried to shoot Donald Trump, American citizen. So a lot of crimes are actually being committed by American citizens, and yet we have demonized immigrants and we're sending them to Guantanamo Bay. You saw earlier the gentleman from the Cato Institute was saying that a lot of the arrests that have been made have not been of people who had committed violent crimes, because that's what was promised at the beginning. At the beginning, during the election, they would say, yeah, we're going to go after people that have committed violent crimes. We're going to go after people who've committed major crimes. And that's not who they're going after, the vulnerable. Remember that lady? Remember that lady that was the Venezuelan lady who was at a Trump rally? She goes, I love Donald Trump, Venezuela, I love Donald Trump. And then he came in and then he got rid of the temporary protection status of like a couple 100,000 Venezuelans. And there was a video of her going like, why he lied to us? Because that's what they do. You guys are being used as pawns. It's easy to say that immigrants are the reason for your problem. The LGBTQ community is the reason for your problems. People of color are the reason for your problems. DEI is the reason of your problems. And meanwhile, they're making all these cuts to different agencies that we need. They're getting ready to take Medicaid away. They're getting ready to get rid of Social Security. They're trying to just privatize America, make the rich richer, and just sucker you by saying, well, this is all because we had to get rid of the immigrants. So just let us do what we want to do. Donald Trump's whole existence began, think about it, it all began with his political ambitions. It began when he started being one of the birther people, when he was saying Barack Obama is not American. So that started there, racist, right? Then he goes down that escalator. He says Mexicans are rapists and drug dealers are coming after you. Then the election, he wins the election and it's a Muslim ban. And they were saying prayer rugs, they're being found at the border. They're coming over for you. Did any Muslim with a prayer rug ever come for you during the Trump administration? And I'm not saying that there aren't Muslims committing crimes. I'm not saying there aren't Jews or Christians committing crimes. What I'm saying is that the bigger problem are not immigrants. They're not migrants. A lot of these people are here. They're working hard. They're trying to make their lives better, and in process, they're making America better. And they're trying to send some money back home to their countries to maybe take care of some of their family. Matter of fact, let's not forget, we have such short attention spans. Let's not forget that during the Biden administration, a bipartisan group of members of Congress got together and they came up with a border bill. And it was one of the first times they come up with a border bill. And actually they gave a lot. The Democrats gave a lot to the Republicans in that border bill. And it was famously Donald Trump who said, do not pass that border bill because it won't help me with the election. So does he really want to do border reform, immigration reform? One of the problems is that Congress has just not done anything in regards to immigration for many, many years. So we have old laws that we're living with, and a lot of them are outdated. And some of them we can, improve. Like somebody was making a point. Why don't we have a multiple work entry, re-entry visa so people can come from countries like Mexico or wherever, come and go and work and continue to live where they live, but not have to sneak in every time they want to come and work here. How about that? How about, we continue with the political asylum? The political asylum, by the way, this administration is trying to demonize people who are running from a dangerous situation in their countries. And a lot of the times they have a dangerous situation in their countries because we, America, help destabilize their countries. So don't you see the hypocrisy? And yet they take that shiny object. They go, look, it's all immigrants. It's all immigrants. And people go, yeah, get rid of the immigrants. Meanwhile, they're not just getting rid of the immigrants. They're getting rid of your Medicaid. They're getting rid of your government checks that you rely on, your Social Security. They're raising the prices of your insulin again. The same people who voted for these guys are now getting screwed by these guys. They're raising tariffs. What are the tariffs doing? Tariffs have been helping increase prices in America. That's what it does. It's making the stock market crash. Economy is not headed in the right direction. Why? Because they've distracted people and said it's all immigrants, immigrants, immigrants. Meanwhile, Elon Musk keeps getting contract after contract from the government, just keeps getting richer and richer. I'm sure Donald Trump is getting richer and richer. All of the people that voted for him that are billionaires are getting richer and richer. And we, as Americans, have to sit here and be afraid of a migrant. Really? Is that what it's come to, folks? Listen, I'm comedian Maz Jobrani. I've got a special on YouTube. It's called The Birds and the Bees. Watch it, have a good laugh, and hug an immigrant. I'm an immigrant. I was born in Iran. I grew up in America. I'm an immigrant. Find an immigrant, give them a hug, tell them you love them, and realize that immigrants love America back.